Been a while since I've done a video like this. Alright, let me just come out and say this. Before I dive into this cluster of accusations and opinions and everything like that, I want to give my take on it first. I think they should have added Moon Girl in some way, but I don't think they should have, I think they should have essentially made her Penny, where you don't see her, she's not like on top of Devil Dinosaur or inside of Devil Dinosaur like Penny is in her mech, but I think she should have been in Devil Dinosaur's intros and MVPs, that sort of thing. The fact that she wasn't is kind of insane, and I'm really hoping that the reason why is purely because of, due to the story and lore. It can't be possible right now, or else it wouldn't make any sense. Now, as for the reasons at the moment why she can't be added, is because, she's like 9 to 10 years old and the devs didn't feel comfortable with adding a kid into the game. That's completely justifiable. I feel like people who look at that and go, oh, that's a poor excuse, are, no offense, kind of insane. Like, really think about it like this. You cannot add a child to a shooting game and have them get shot or get shot at. It doesn't matter if it's even a hologram, you're still shooting, whether it's the actual person or just a hologram of said person, you are still shooting a child. That is not okay. The fact that this needs to be said, it needs to be explained, is kind of crazy to me. And the fact that some people are saying like, oh, that's just a poor excuse, there's so many ways you could do it. No, you can't, because all of them result into the same conclusion. You cannot shoot a child. You cannot shoot something that is like a child. The only reason why the game is able to get away with Jeff is because it's a giant fucking shark. Like, not like Devil Dinosaur big or anything like that, but like it's a fucking cartoonish shark, completely different to a not realistic but still a child. Now, and another thing as well, the argument, oh well, why don't they just age her up? And you know what, they could, but as I mentioned before, the whole thing about Moon Girl is that her entire thing is being a 9 or 10-year-old genius, right? That's her thing. So aging her up would kind of take that away. But even if you say, okay, well, that's not a good enough excuse, do I need to remind you how, despite only being aged up like once or twice to make Penny 18, people were still complaining about it? I still remember when a shit ton of people were like, this is so weird, why'd you make her like 18 years old, this is so weird. Like, not even that long ago, I was playing Rivals, and I wish I fucking recorded it, but like, honestly, even you lot probably heard it, where people will straight up call people that play Penny pedophiles because they're playing Penny. and that's only raising her age up fucking once or twice. So if there are still people who call Penny players pedos, what the fuck do you think is going to happen if they did the same with Moon Girl? You don't even technically play as Penny, like, you play as a mech. So I don't understand how Moon Girl would be any different, because again, if you keep her as a child, you'll be called a pedophile, and that's also putting a child into like serious danger, getting shot at, while also being surrounded by half-naked people. If you were to make her an adult and her own character, you'll still have people calling others a pedophile, people who have harassing each other, the devs, just like they did with Penny. There's no winning this whatsoever. So if there's no winning, then what the hell would the Rivals dev team even do? Pretty much what I've said already. Either make her Penny, leave her as 10 years old, and just make her on the sidelines or anything like that. From memory, I did see one concept art of like Moon Girl appearing on like the like a hologram communication thing on the side. So maybe they can do something like that, or they can just add a future version of Moon Girl from either the Mosaic or Unstable Time-Space timeline, or from the Collapsing timeline. So just yeah, again, make an adult version of Moon Girl, have a strategist. Either one of them can work. I mean, don't get me wrong, you'll still get people complaining and bitching, but at least those are the most realistic options, instead of, hey, let's put a 10-year-old inside of a bubble and have people shoot at it. Like, indestructible or not, again, it just simply won't work. Now, of course, those aren't the only reasons why this whole drama has been stirring up for quite a bit. Actually, this has been something that's been going on for a while now, and don't get me wrong, I completely get why. The reaction and how some people are choosing to respond and treat others is incredibly disgusting, and I am disappointed at every single one of these people who chooses to spread hatred and all of that sort of things rather than being a mature adult and trying to have a discussion or trying to bring awareness without calling the devs racist. So yes, let's talk about the thumbnail and the title of this video. Is NetEase racist? Yes, I know it took us 6 minutes to get to the point of this video, but I feel like it was important to talk about the Moon Girl situation and my opinions about it. When it comes to how black characters are being treated in this game, it is probably the biggest definition of a mixed bag, because sometimes you'll have really good moments of, Blade has been getting a lot more skins recently, but then you'll have stuff like Storm where she needed a bit of a rework or really should have gotten a skin during the second disco event or the Fire Gala event, and she got nothing, which I don't even play Storm, but holy crap, that is an insane thing to do. I play Moon Knight, mind you, but I don't think he should have gone that skin. I think that legendary spot should have gone to Emma or Storm. Black Panther is honestly not that far off, considering that he hasn't been getting a lot of skins recently compared to a year ago, and due to the fact that he's in this weird headspace of he needs to be nerfed, he needs to be buffed. It's like tug of war with that character on where the balancing for him should go towards. But to go back to skins, when it comes to Black Panther and Storm, look, I do think that when it comes to that wedding skin for both of them, they fumbled a bit, but I also don't even know what you would do, because I guess one thing that they could have done is just held it off for one more season. With Invis and Miss Fantastic, at least to my mind, like they were the first do a legendary skin, wedding, everything like that, fair enough. With Gambit and Rogue, okay, yeah, they get a wedding skin event thing, that makes sense. But then you have Storm and Black Panther, which, look, I'm glad that they got a wedding skin, but I think too many people are focused on, oh, it's an epic, therefore NetEase hates black people, and it's just like, can we relax for 2 seconds? Because that's just an insane conclusion. Don't get me wrong, I do think they should have gotten the same treatment as Mr. Fantastic, Invis, Rogue, and Gambit, but I would rather say, like, I feel like that's just an unfortunate oversight, rather than just straight up calling them racist. That's just way too fucking far and way too immature. I'm sorry, but it is. And then we got Cloak. Now, oh man, I keep seeing this one Cloak Twitter account, and I swear, when it comes to the character, he loses his bloody mind. I shouldn't assume, like she, he, they, I don't remember. I'm just gonna keep referring to them as they. They would constantly lose their goddamn minds, and it was exhausting to look at. Because the argument of, oh, Cloak doesn't have any legs, Doctor Strange said that Cloak is cooler than Strange's, inanimate object Cloak, therefore the game views Cloak as an object. It's like, bro, come the fuck on. Like, and I know they're serious. I know they are not trying to like rage bait or trying to exaggerate. No, they genuinely believe this. And like, okay, look, don't get me wrong. Cloak not having legs was no problem. You cannot convince me otherwise. It was no problem. But as the years went on, we got more skins, and then the whole sitting emote thing, people then started to pick up, okay, at first there was no issue. It was a cool design element. It was neat, but it does kind of sacrifice a bit. And then we got the goddamn ice skating skin, and that's when people were really like, okay, you could have added legs here. I've even seen some people say, oh, we need fully animated legs, we need them to run and jump and all that shit. And I'm like, no, you don't. You just give him Magneto legs. That's all you need to do. You can still keep the silhouette and the whole lower body is complete shadow thing while giving him legs like Magneto where they float. And people are like, no, you can't do that. You can't. Why? There would be no animation. You can just slap it on. It would fix so many of the skins. Like, I don't get why that alone is somehow a bad suggestion when it would fix the issue with Cloak. But to go back to the whole thing of like Cloak and Dagger's interaction with Doctor Strange, where Dagger's like, wow, your cloak is so cool, and Doctor Strange is like, I feel like your cloak is a lot cooler. My guy, like, if you, like, to anyone who genuinely believes that's racism or saying that Cloak is an object, you are reading so far into the opposite direction. I'm sorry, but that's true. Strange was saying that Cloak, the person, is cooler than a piece of fabric, inanimate object Cloak. Like, again, the fact that I gotta explain this and have to say this to grown adults is kind of insane to me. So, okay, rambling aside, basically, every black character in this game needs better treatment. Blade needs better treatment. Like, he is somewhat getting better treatment, but I mean, whether it's the skins or the gameplay, he does deserve better. Black Panther needs better treatment. Storm definitely needs better treatment, whether it's about her gameplay or costumes. And Cloak just needs legs. That's it. Just give him fucking Magneto legs. Give him Shadow Magneto legs. Done. Sorted. Like, that's really all you need to do. But here's the thing. While I agree that these characters definitely need better treatment, and I feel like Rivals do need a better way to distribute skins and even patches, going out of your way to calling them racist, or just the players in general as racist, is so disconnected that it left me in shock. Okay, for example, I saw a tweet. I'm not gonna show it because I don't want to like encourage harassment towards them or anything like that. So say don't harass anyone. Full stop. I don't give a fuck what's like side of the discussion you're on. Just don't harass anyone. But they said she legit looks amazing, and they shafted her bad and talking about Moon Girl. And so someone was like, she looks like Mess B for real. And like, to be fair, I can kind of understand where they're coming from. Moon Girl's design is kind of all over the place. It has a lot of colors. It has a lot of accessories. So fair enough. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. Hell, people are complaining about this season's battle pass, saying that there's no theme, even though there is, and saying that the skins are hot messes. So OP is like, weird take, and they're like, not much of a take, the design is just a mess. And when someone asks like, what about this is messy, OP responded with, they think blackwashing is real, they just hate black people. Like, okay, just in case, I went through the account and checked, and unless I missed something, the person saying that the design is a mess does not think, like, has talked about blackwashing or anything like that. But even if that was the case, you can't call someone racist just because they think that a character design to them is a mess. By that logic, if you think Magneto's new Battle Pass skin design is a mess, you are ableist. And you can't even say, well, that's not the same thing. No, it is. It is quite literally the exact same thing. Because according to that user, if you're saying that the Moon Girl design is a mess, you're racist. So if you think the Magneto design, the Savage Magneto design is messy, you're ableist. Do you understand how, like, again, that just sounds insane. Unless someone specifically brings up their, like, someone's background when it comes to the design and say, oh shit, because the person's black or that sort of thing, you can't just falsely accuse them of being racist or ableist or anything along those lines. Like, how is that productive? How does that actually fix the issue of Blade, Storm, Black Panther, Cloak? All these characters need better representation and need better skin distribution. How this game needs better skin distribution. Are we actually being for real right now? How does that make any sense? I'm losing my mind and feel like I'm repeating myself, and I do apologize for that immensely. I'm not trying to. This whole situation is just scuffed. It is an absolute mess, and I feel like the way that really everyone in the situation, regardless of what side you're on, are being treated over a goddamn video game is fucked. It is immensely fucked, and we need to do better as a community. We need to do better as fans of these characters, and we just need to do better as people, because again, I can't stress this enough, this is just beyond messed up. Okay, so that's talking about the player base, how regardless if you believe there is an issue or not an issue, we need to do better. We need to actually be more productive and more civilized when it comes to talking about this, rather than just randomly throwing accusations at one another. It doesn't do anything for anyone in this situation. But what about NetEase themselves? What do I personally think? I don't think they're intentionally being racist. I just think they're focusing way too much on the characters that are really popular and the characters that have a higher pick rate. Because the reason why the Hulk, for example, hasn't gotten a skin until now with the Infinity Hulk is because his pick rate is so low. The reason why we haven't gotten another Storm skin, because her pick rate is so low. The reason why we barely get any Wolverine skins is because his pick rate is so low. The reason why Black Widow barely gets any skins is because the pick rate is really low, and overall that character is pretty bloody bad. So even despite all of that, this issue goes beyond skin color. And I'm not sorry if you can hear a Discord notification. I'm not sitting here saying that like this is the equivalent to video games White Lives Matter. No, this is just like how Black Lives Matter is Black Lives Matter too. This is no different. This is not saying that, you know, black characters in Marvel Rivals are the only one getting mistreated, the only ones who barely get any love and attention. This is black characters in Marvel Rivals suffer from these things too. This is something that affects a lot of characters in the game, as I already mentioned, because of their low pick rate. If Storm had like a pick rate that was like the same as Magneto, I bet you $100 goddamn bucks she would be getting a lot more skins. Even Magneto barely gets any skins compared to like Luna and Psylocke and Invis. Aside from that, I think what they need to do is implement a sort of system where they go through, you know, okay, say for example, starting from scratch, and when it comes to characters and what skins, how many they got, it's like at 0, right? Say like 10 characters got, you know, 1 skin. Those characters do not get another skin until everyone in Marvel Rivals gets a skin. Now, yes, that would take a long time. That would mean that characters wouldn't get a skin until like a year or whatever. Make it so that, okay, so have it so that they only get 2 or 3 or 4 or even 5 a year. But there needs to be some sort of system to continuously rotate on who gets skins. Because as of right now, there's no system. It's just whoever matches the theme, whoever has the highest pick rate, or whoever sells the most money. Seriously, I get that Psylocke and Invis sell a lot of money, and I understand that, but come on man, so can other characters. And don't get me wrong, at first, with how many characters we had at the time, it was fine. But as the roster gets bigger, that system is no longer fine. It's a flawed system that needs to be fixed, and I feel like having a better way at distributing these skins, making it so that, okay, batch 1 already got skins, now batch 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, and then mix all of them up again to a different batch 1, different batch 2, different batch 3. Maybe people won't like that. In fact, I know that opinion is very niche, and I understand that people may not like that idea, but if we want everyone to have a chance to get a skin without characters getting too little, if any skin, or characters getting too many skins, I feel like it's probably the most appropriate way to handle this situation. And of course, give Blade better treatment, give Storm better treatment, give Cloak better treatment when it comes to skins. Cloak is fine because he's paired up with Dagger, and you can get amazing skins from both of them. But again, he just needs legs. Just give him Magneto legs and you're good. But I think the fact that all of this is because of cosmetics is kind of insane. Again, they definitely deserve better representation, and we definitely need a better system when it comes to skins and how characters, how many they get, when they get them, everything like that. And I understand that that's definitely something that the Rivals devs need to actually improve on. They need to listen to that feedback. But again, calling people racist, attacking people, and attacking the dev team, everything like that over cosmetics, while yes, I understand because the representation of these characters are a bit lackluster and needs to be improved on, it is just not okay. At the end of the day, this is a video game and people are complaining about cosmetic outfits for these characters. People could be doing the exact same thing when it comes to Widow and Hulk, and I'd be saying the exact same thing. This is not something to do, especially if you are grown as adult. I'm sorry, but it's just not. Now, rambling aside, I want to close off this video by kind of recapping into bullet points. So the things that I feel like Marvel Rivals needs to improve on and need to incorporate. Number 1, include Moon Girl, whether it's the exact same way as how they included Penny, or add her via collapsing timeline Moon Girl as a playable character who is a grown adult, or both. Ideally, both would be really cool because you would have a cool interaction between 10-year-old Moon Girl with adult Moon Girl. Number 2 is a much proper treatment towards heroes that have a low pick rate. And the reason why I said this specifically is because it leads on to point 3, but I feel like this needs to be emphasized because a lot of characters suffer from it. Human Torch, Scarlet Witch, Widow, Hulk, Blade, Black Panther, Storm. There's a lot of characters that suffer from not getting enough attention or not getting enough skins or patches or anything like that because the pick rate for those characters are so low, meaning that less eyes and less demand is on those characters aside from the small minority. And it feels like, not even feels like, those fans of those characters, the Black Widow players, the Storm players, they feel left out. And I feel like for a game that's whose roster is going to grow even larger, there needs to be a better way to fix that. There needs to be a way so that no one feels like they are left behind. Of course, number 3 is better skin distribution. And I feel like how they would do it, again, I know I already said it before, but I think there really needs to be a sort of system where characters don't get skins, like the same character doesn't get skins right after another. Invis was really bad, how we went from one legendary Invisible Woman skin to another one, and it's just kind of insane. There needs to be a better way to distribute these skins. And like I mentioned before, whether it's a sort of batch system where these sets of characters get skins and they won't get another skin until this batch of characters, the final batch of characters, is done, anything. Like, there needs to be a better system in place so that other characters like Blade, like Black Panther, like Widow, like Hulk, like Johnny, like Storm can get the same treatment as Psylocke, Jeff, Thor, Invis. Oh my god, I completely forgot about Mr. Fantastic. He also suffers from this, but that kind of proves my point that there are so many characters that miss out on these skins. And also, there needs to be a legendary cap to an extent. Invis had so many legendary skins to the point where her like student ESU skin thing, that should have not been legendary. That like Reed skin should have been legendary. The fact that for Invis it was back to back to back legendary is just insane. So number 3, once again, needs to be better skin distribution when it comes to rarities, when it comes to how many skins get, like how many skins a character gets in like a month or a year, that sort of thing. There needs to be a better system in place. Number 4 is kind of a personal thing, but I feel like rivals will benefit from it. If you are going to make a battle pass, have a theme to it and make it so that the characters in that theme, you know, make sense. If you're going to have an event pass, like the disco for example, add characters that make sense. Yes, Star-Lord and Magic make sense, absolutely. But Namor just doesn't. I play Namor, but I don't play Storm, but I would kick Namor to the curb and put Storm in that battle pass if I had to. If I had the choice to, I would absolutely do that. Then it's not just item shop skins or your battle shop, like it's just as a whole there needs to be a way better system, and that system also needs to apply to themes and what character goes with that theme. Hellfire Gala, as much as I love that Moon Knight skin, if you were to tell me, hey, which character suits this theme more, Moon Knight or Storm, I'm going to say Storm. So there needs to be not just better distribution when it comes to skins, but there needs to be better suited characters for said themes so that, you know, they can get skins. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting here saying that a character has to match the theme in order to get the skin. Like, Namor, for example, I'm fine with him getting a disco skin. That's not the issue. That's why I put number 4 as have characters match the theme, take priority. Because I think Namor should get a disco skin. Sure, I think everyone should get a disco skin. But I also feel like there are some characters that deserve that sort of themed skin more than Namor. I reckon he can get that later down the line, but over a bunch of other characters I feel like are more suited for it, that would be better for it, especially if they have like barely any skins. I feel like they should take our priority until everything is like even, everyone has the same amount of skins. And then moving forward, you can then put characters in like proper themes and that sort of thing. But yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. I get, like, again, and it bears repeating, I get people's frustration, and I understand that a lot of people may be tired and fed up with not being represented how they want to be represented. I completely get that, and I'm not trying to diminish that. What I will say though is that we do need to take a step back and realize the devs have been very generous, and we are privileged and spoiled when it comes to this game. And I feel like that needs, we need that sort of reminder that we are spoiled. Admittedly, we kind of are. But even though we're spoiled, and even though the devs have done a lot for us, they can also use improvements on their part. Regardless, I feel like both sides aren't necessarily in the wrong. I don't think either side is like worse than the other. I just think we all need to do better, whether it's being simply better people, and not lashing out at everyone, to the devs needing a better system to support the players and their characters. So hopefully that does happen in the future. If not, then that's disappointing, but I'm really hoping for the best here. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will say this: if if it's revealed that NetEase is actually racist and that's why they haven't been like giving skins or better treatment to like Blade, Black Panther, and everything like that, and by better I don't mean like this race better than the other. No, I just mean like actually treating the characters like everyone else. No duh. But if it comes out that they are racist and their racism is the reason why these characters don't get any treatment, and it's not because of the pick race system or anything like that, then I will definitely apologize. But I do think, regardless if they are racist or not, my point still stands. Rivals definitely needs a better system, and hopefully we can get that system sooner rather than later. But enough of that. My name is Grimal. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, evening, and or night. And I'll see you guys next time. Laterz.